This is Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, joined by Bo Bichette. How did it happen that you played for Team Brazil in World Baseball Classic qualifying?
4 years ago when they made the tournament, we saw it and we always wondered, man, I wonder if we could play for them because my mom was born there. And we completely forgot about it for the next 3.5 years. And when we saw the qualifiers coming up, it was like a month away, and we made a few calls, got our paperwork in, all that kind of stuff, and got on the team last minute, so it was awesome.
What was that experience? It was in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
3 games?
Yeah.
Had you played with your brother like that before?
Never been on the same field with him.
Never?
Nope.
So dressing leading up to that first game, how was that feeling?
It was really cool. It was probably, my brother would say the same, is the best time we've ever had on a field, most fun we've ever had playing baseball, so it was awesome.
After those games, how did you spend your off season?
I got right in the gym right away. Took a little bit of time off from baseball, but I got in the gym right away and went to the beach a lot and played a lot of video games.
I was listening to the coaches, and they were talking about your mechanics, and they said nobody understands their swing better than you understand your swing. And then there was that interview that you gave where you said you were glad to be drafted by the Blue Jays because you knew that the Blue Jays would leave you and your mechanics alone. Tell me about your swing. How does your swing work?
I wouldn't say, for me, it's not complicated. It's kind of complicated to, explain to people. But what I would say really is I just be an athlete. I just let myself be an athlete. Everything I do is an athletic move and be myself, really, and swing hard. And that's pretty much all I think about.
When did you first develop it?
From the first time I swung a bat. My dad gave me the basics, be on path of the baseball, have good timing and swing hard and all that. But he let me pretty much figure everything else out for myself, and he basically just wanted me to be an athlete.
There's the swing hard. Where does the left leg kick come from? Did that come from you, or did that come from someone else?
Me, probably. I used to toe tap when I was little, but I decided to leg kick for some reason, and probably since I was a sophomore, it just stuck, and now that's what I stick with.
Were there any conversations that you've had with, let's say, major league hitters that have stuck with you on the subject of hitting?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Tula, when I hit with Tula in the off season, he would ask me questions. I remember when I was 14. I didn't understand at the time why he asked me, but I was hitting in the cages with Charlie Blackmon and DJ LeMahieu, and both of them are, really, really good players right now. And I remember I was in the cage, and DJ said, "Hey, Bo, why do you toe tap?" And I just remember now I look back on that thing and I realized that a big leaguer was trying to pick my brain at 14 years old, and so I've had a lot of good experiences with that.
What did Tulo ask you about?
He was trying out a leg kick at the time, so he just kind of asked me how, I sink my hands in my leg kick and stuff like that, and he actually told me that he thinks that I could do a better job, with that synchronizing my hands and my feet, and so we kind of wasn't really asking, but we kind of got into a good conversation about the mechanics and how we both do things.
The interesting thing to me beyond that is when it gets to 2 strikes, things change. How does your mechanics change on 2 strikes?
Really not much. Just take away the leg kick. I spread out a little bit, but other than that, not much. It's more of a mindset. I try and let the fastball get as deep as possible because I just trust in my hands. They're quick enough to be able to get to it. And it allows me to see the breaking ball longer and make better decisions with 2 strikes.
Baseball people will say that the way to get hitters to stop striking out is to get them to hate striking out. How do you feel about strikeouts?
I hate it. Yeah, just like anybody really probably hates it. But if I get, I feel like majority of the time when I strike out, I get myself out. But there is a few rare times where, the pitcher just beat me and I had a good plan. And I stuck to it. And when that happens, I'm still annoyed, but I'm not too mad at myself. But, when I get myself out and I go out on my plan, that's when I get angry.
With Lansing Lugnuts hitting coach Donnie Murphy, what kind of conversations have you had already this year?
Not much. He kind of is so far with me, has kind of asked me what he should look for and what what I need to get better at. And right now, in the beginning of the season, I was kind of getting tied up in inside pitches a little bit, and I told him, I think that I'm, striding a little too close, and so, he's just kind of watching for those little things that I tell him to, and he's been really great for me.
What do you key off of from the pitcher?
Everybody asks me that, but every pitcher is a lot different. Some guys are really quick, and you can't really key off their leg kick because your leg kick's bigger. So there's other guys that are really slow, and you kind of got to wait till they even come down from their leg kick. So, it's just a lot different. You just got to figure it out on deck or even in the dugout before you go out on deck.
Let's say there's a new pitcher on the mound. You've never faced them before. What information do you want to have before the game?
I like to know what they throw, the runners in scoring position. I like to guess a lot, and so a lot of times you get like a lefty that doesn't throw very hard. He's not going to challenge you, and he'll throw a lot of change-ups, and so that's good information to know. And a lot of times before the game, I Google the pitcher, and so I can see them throw on YouTube or something like that. And so really the most important thing for me is to see the release point.
We've talked a lot about hitting. You're also aggressive on the base paths. Why? When did you first say, I can really hurt as a base-stealing threat?
I've been fast my entire life, and so I've gotten away with a lot of things on the bases, not having a huge lead and not getting a great jump and still be able to steal a base. Now that I'm in pro ball, I'm trying to learn a little bit more about it, and the coaches have been really, really good for me, and really I just want to be a complete player. That's all it comes down to is I want to, if they walk me, I want to be able to make them pay and, turn that into a double, and so that's really it, and I'm just trying to be aggressive as I can.
And speaking of being a complete player, offense, base running, defense, what are you working on defensively?
Just being more consistent in my prep. I've always, again, been pretty talented at that and never really had to work at defense to be good at it, but this every day is you can kind of days off during games and stuff like that, and so I'm just trying to be prepared every pitch. No hitters tendencies where they pull or they go oppo and stuff like that.
Tell me about that prep. When you say prepared every pitch, what does that preparation mean?
There's a whole bunch of stuff. Know the pitcher, know what pitch he's throwing, know the hitter, whether he can stay on breaking pitches or if he pulls off them, where the fastball's going to be, all that kind of stuff. And when you know all that kind of stuff, you're going to be ready every time. When you forget about that kind of stuff, you can kind of be caught on your heels before the pitch is thrown and not be ready for everything. So that's really it.
Do you have any goals this year? Do you have any place that come September you want to say, this is how I've grown?
Yeah, just being a professional. Obviously having a good year, and I know that numbers aren't everything, but everybody would like to have some good numbers at the end of the year. So, and I think that if I continue to grow as a player and as a professional, I'll have those numbers. And so, wherever I am at the end of the year, obviously my goal is to be in the big leagues, but just trying to grow as a player and a person.
And finally, when you want to get away from baseball, what do you do?
During the season, 100% I'll just sit down and play video games or watch a TV show. Off season, go to the beach. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Bo, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Lansing Lugnuts shortstop / second baseman Bo Bichette. I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, and this is Lugnuts Baseball.